All right, so welcome back to episode 2 of Mike and the Maven. But this is like really the first episode of the new name.
Correct.
So we're gonna get into that in a little bit. I'm Mike Ham. With me, as always, is Tara Burney. Tara, what's up?
Hello.
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
So I think because we did change up the name, because like if people listen to the first episode,
Yes.
They know what the original name of the show was.
Mm-hmm.
We have since tweaked it a
Yes.
little bit. Can we go into why we made that tweak?
Okay, well, we'll tell them the name. It was Mike and the MILF,
It
right?
was,
And
yes.
it wasn't, obviously that acronym sort of, everybody kind of knows what that means.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason we chose that originally was just, it was sort of a take on not just that word, but or that saying, but just kind of like how I live my life, and I'm not a MILF, but I'm not a practicing MILF.
Not practicing. Okay.
Not a practicing MILF. But anyway, so if you go back and listen to the first episode, we talk about why we chose that name.
Yeah.
Now, in the day of social media, everybody has something to say. So I got a lot of DMs, people sliding into my DMs, and they just happened to be all of the male sect, and they weren't nice, and I didn't like it, and they had some, kind of gross things to say, and I just don't want to have that as, always in the background or wondering, who's going to say what.
Right.
And it shouldn't always come to that, right?
Oh, 100%. Well, that's why when you told me, I was like, we definitely have to change it, because
Yeah.
that obviously wasn't the purpose behind it. We weren't
right.
setting out with that goal in mind.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I mean, like, it's whatever. Change the name.
Change the name.
It's a
And so now we're Mike and the Maven, and I like that. And the whole idea of this show is to talk about things that resonate with people, right?
Sure.
And to get the different opinion, both from you and from me. And we come from two different places, two different age groups, obviously two different sexes. And Maven, that word alone just stands for somebody who does know something a lot about, or no, knows a little about a lot, right? So it's
I think so.
Somebody is
Experienced.
Schooled and experienced,
Yeah.
right? And so that's why we chose that name.
Yeah.
Which I think it fits.
Yeah.
Not only for me, but for you, because I mean, you.
Well, I'm Mike, so there's, we didn't have to change that part.
No, did anybody slide into your DMs?
No, surprisingly, I was actually kind of a little bummed, but that's okay. So Mike and the Maven now. So we kind of like hit on some of the things that we were going to talk about back in the first episode, which posted today, our recording day.
It's exciting.
Very exciting. So
Yeah.
August, what's today? 18th?
19th.
19th. August 19th was the day the first episode actually dropped. And we kind of like clued people in. We were kind of all over the place in the first episode, but
Right.
that's what this show I think is going to kind of be. But you actually have like a whole outline and notes and
Well,
stuff that you wanted to talk about.
I'm old school with a notepad.
Well, I mean, I write stuff down too. I
I like
don't
that
have
you-
anything written down.
You have nothing to say. So
Well,
that's the
yeah.
end of episode 2, everybody.
This has been
You're
real.
welcome.
Yeah, we'll catch you for episode 3 next week.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. So maybe let's go through some of these things.
All
that
right,
you wanted to
so
chat about.
here's all the things, right? I mean, when things that pop up into my head all the time are just things that I'm living and things that I know about or have experienced, and
as a maven.
as a maven,
Right.
and you do too, because you have gone through a lot of these. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the best things to talk about, I think, are the things that you have experienced and known, because people are going through the same thing, and sometimes they feel like they are the only one,
Right.
Or it's only happening to them.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, top of the list is dating. We could go back to these. So I'll list them,
Okay.
and then you tell me what strikes a chord with you.
Okay.
And what feels good. So it is almost back to school time, and
Yep.
not that we are going back to school.
Thank God.
Thank God.
That
I
ship
don't
has
think you
sailed.
could pay me to go back to school.
No, there was no. I have an MBA, but
You're so smart.
I know I used to be, and I just that was it. Took 2 years to get that.
That was it. That's a long haul to get there.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah.
It
Because
was-
after 4 years.
Right, and then
Oof.
I didn't go right back. I didn't go into business school right away. It was like one of my jobs that I worked when I was working up in Rochester. So I was, working up there, was a grad assistant, got a free MBA, so that was cool. Didn't have to pay for it. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll get an MBA.
Right.
And then, obviously don't use it really. But
Not for this show.
like after, yeah, definitely not. But after that, I was like, there is literally no way like I will go back to get any other kind of degree ever.
Yeah.
You know, I know that's very
I do
ambitious
applaud
of
the
me.
company that paid for your MBA.
Well, it was the school, so they were basically paying themselves. So it was kind of like monopoly money.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. But I do applaud those companies that do that for their employees.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
for sure.
Which is
'Cause
great.
you want
and
smart
they-
people working for you.
Sure.
Yeah.
And why not, keep them hooked in
Yeah. Right.
along the way. So
So yeah, so I'm not going back to school, but we do have.
okay,
back to
but no,
school
but
on
it
there.
just made me think of like, talking about just different situations that had happened in school. It always comes back to me, I had a learning disability when I was younger. I really couldn't read, and I didn't know why, and nobody paid attention. Things were a lot different back then.
Sure.
When I went to school,
Back in my day.
back in my day. But no,
Used to walk
honestly, we
5
didn't.
miles to school every day.
I really did walk to school in snowstorms.
Oh,
I really did.
okay.
It was cold.
Weren't you living in Vegas?
Sorry. Well, I did, no, when I moved to New Jersey, and we had those
I was gonna
big,
say.
big ass snowstorms.
Yeah.
My mom was like, "Suck it up, go to school." And I
Yeah.
had to,
It's
walk
hard, well, it's unsafe to drive in those conditions.
Exactly. She wasn't doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we didn't really have special programs, and nobody really, I don't know, just didn't pay attention. And until I got to 5th grade, and I still couldn't really read. And my 5th grade teacher finally realized something was wrong
Yeah.
and took me aside and, said, "I will help you." And she took time out of her day, both at the beginning of school and the end of school, to help me figure out why I couldn't read.
Yeah.
So it just made me think of, that's just one story of just somebody that could just shape your whole life. I mean, if I'd
Yeah.
never had her,
You wouldn't
Mrs.
have written down these
Cifelli, I don't
notes.
know where Mrs. Cifelli is these days, but gosh, she was great.
One of my best friend's last name is Cifelli, fun fact.
Oh,
Yeah. But I don't
not
think it would be the same.
not related, maybe.
No. She wasn't a teacher.
Oh,
Well, I mean, my friend is my age, but his mom
wasn't a teacher.
was not a teacher.
Yeah, so she was great. So it just made me think about, having, and I know a lot of parents struggle with this, with their kids, being able to go into different classes and different types of things. And, if they do have a learning disability or if they're excelling on the other end, right? And there's
Yeah.
really no place for them. So that's why I thought of that one.
No, I like
so
that
we
one.
could come back to that one.
Yeah.
Obviously, travel. We're in the heat of summer travel right now.
Yeah. I feel like that one might be the one we go to.
And who
just
doesn't
because
have
we're
travel
running up-
pet peeves?
Oh, yeah. I have a couple.
Yeah, I have a few too.
Yeah.
And then obviously, best place you've traveled to and worst, and any tips of traveling.
Well, I'm not that very well traveled, but I do have pet peeves on traveling. But I think that one will be the one we wind up coming back to.
Okay,
Because
it's
it's
hitting
still
you?
going to be summer by the time this episode posts.
Right.
And then we can do
Okay.
episode 3 around back to school and all
Got
that
it.
kind of stuff.
Got it.
I don't
Job.
know yet. I haven't
Okay,
read all your-
we're not done with
I haven't
my
read all
list
your
yet.
notes. Trying to read them as you're going.
I know. Well, I'm right here. I'm telling you.
No,
you don't
I know.
have to read them.
That's fine. You have 2 people reading on a podcast. It's electric content.
For those of you watching on YouTube, you're really going to love us just like this, tops
Yeah.
of our heads,
Yep.
looking down at this,
It's great, and
at
I'm
this
like
scratchy
this.
notebook that I
Yeah.
have no.
That's not that bad.
That I have
It's
notes
pretty
on.
good handwriting.
This is just the 5th. This is the 5th notebook I've gone through. Not for this podcast,
I
but
was going to
just
say, where's all the content then?
it's coming. Just you wait.
Yeah.
Just you wait. That said, I do take a lot of notes because I am applying for jobs. So in my life, if you've listened to the first podcast or first episode, I work in the TV business and I am looking for a job.
So shout out listeners if you're
Hello, anyone
hiring. Tara
out
needs
there?
a job. She can't do this shit all the time.
No,
Forever. This show will not last forever.
it's not paying the bills.
No.
right now.
No, definitely not.
So that alone is a full-time job, and what I've come across in just the job hunting experience is quite interesting. But it also made me think of right now what's the new term out there is called quiet quitting. Have you heard of this?
No, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, quiet quitting.
That's just like you don't even
It's a
say
new
anything, you just
term.
walk out.
No,
The
you
old Irish
you
goodbye
stay.
on the
It's
job?
not an Irish goodbye of the job. No, it is when you are employed, you stay at your job and you just basically do the bare minimum that your job requires. And so people have discovered that they feel if they're not getting overly compensated or overtime or recognition, that they're just going to do what they were told that oh wait, this is
really striking a chord.
Mike's face is like,
let's move it along.
So you're not going above and beyond what you maybe would have done, but you're like, cool, I'm employed, I'm just going to do this, and I'm working on a balanced
work-life balance.
Life balance,
Everybody
right?
needs that. That's
Which
important.
everybody needs, but you're not defined by your labor, is what this is. I can't even say in the past because this just kind of hit and people are talking about it now. But I think a lot of times you're identified by your job, right?
Yeah. Well, that's one of the first questions people ask you. Is like, what do you do?
What do you do?
And they're like, why? Who cares?
Right.
You
You shouldn't.
Sell title insurance. They're like, oh. Like, yeah. That's the reaction I had when I tell myself that. Oh.
Why do I
what is
sell
that?
like
Tile insurance?
tile.
Like for my kitchen? No.
No.
That's not it. But yeah,
not
but
what
that
I
is the
think.
thing that
Yeah.
you're always like, oh, he's a attorney. Like, oh.
Exactly,
for
right.
him.
So does it define you what your title is at your job, right? And then for you personally, like what is it when you're doing there? Like how much are you putting into it, or how much are you just like literally just punching the clock,
Yeah,
right?
right.
So nowadays we need a term for everything.
Yeah.
So it's called quiet quitting.
Yeah, which I think also is misleading because if you're getting paid to do a job and you're doing that job and not going like above and beyond, like you shouldn't unless you're getting paid for it. It's a job. Like you're not there, on your own free will, or just like out of the goodness of your heart. You're there to make some money.
Right.
And if that's what they're paying you to do.
But then will you expect a bonus or a raise if you're not going above and beyond? Like wouldn't your boss be like, well, Mike's just,
Well,
dragging his feet and
I
he's
guess
just kind
no,
of like,
but like I think maybe after a certain point, if you are putting in that extra time, and you're not like you're just hoping that they recognize it and give you that bonus or give you that raise, it may never come. So you're still just toiling away doing.
right. So you're kind of
nothing.
hurting yourself. That's how I see this. I mean, if you really love what you're doing, or even if you hate what you're doing, you should do it with some kind of love, in a way.
Sure.
But if you love what you're doing at your job and you want to excel and you want to like move up or, look for a different position or a different place inside that organization, I mean, I feel like you have to do a little bit of work. You can't just...
Oh, yeah, you have to do a little bit of work
can't
if
just-
that's like you can't mail it in.
You can't mail it in.
But you're also not quitting. You're just doing your job. And if
Yeah.
you're cool with that and you're happy and like in that place,
And not looking for anything more, then you just kind of hang there.
yeah, you just
I
kind of
guess
play
those
the
are
long
those
game.
quiet quitters.
Yeah, you play the long game and you rack up experience and then you get a new job someplace else. You'd be like, oh, I have 10 years experience being a
Right.
whatever. I don't know. Just my thought.
I thought that was interesting. And then it led me
Yeah.
into like sort of the mental health part of it because Jonah Hill just came out and said that for like 23 years of him in this business, when you have a movie or a TV show, anything really, album, anything, book, you have to go on a press tour, right? You have to hit red carpet, especially movies and stuff. You hit the red carpets, you hit the one-on-one interviews, you do these things called junkets, which is like round robin of press, and you're scrutinized, especially him. For him, he said he was scrutinized a lot in the press for his appearance or not answering the questions okay and all that kind of stuff. So he finally got to a point where he said, I'm tapping out, not from acting, but
Yeah.
from the promotional side of it.
Right.
Because my mental health is shot.
Yeah.
So that's his job. And it just made me think like, okay, well, that's important too. How much does your work or your job play on your mental health, especially if you're commuting, that adds a lot.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to a stressful job or if you're going to a place that you really don't like.
Right. That's a lot of
So
stress.
it does take a toll on your mental health. So
Yeah.
I kind of thought of that too.
Okay.
All right.
We're crushing it right now.
Woo!
We're talking about stuff. This is going to be a whole episode of us.
I know, just talking
your list.
about my list. So then the other one was growing up because I really am interested, when I meet people, I am interested where they grew up, how they grew up. And I remember I think in the first episode we told a little bit about, how we grew up, but just the different sides of it and, how that sort of shaped us on who we are and,
Yeah.
So we could expand more on that, which I just think is kind of interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. And then obviously it always comes back to yoga, but not just yoga.
I haven't done yoga in a while.
yoga.
Actually, wait. I think I did. No, I haven't done it in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. Been busy.
You are busy. You're a busy
know.
man. You got
Yeah.
another podcast.
I have 2 shows. I have a job, which we talked about earlier. I got a bunch of other stuff coming on. I probably have another show in the works right now.
See?
You know, I got a lot of stuff on my plate.
I know you're busy,
Yeah.
so it's okay that you didn't go to yoga.
Yeah.
But my point with bringing up yoga again
I don't know, I just felt bad.
is just how important that is, just working out. And I think it's sort of tied into mental health, and that's kind of why I brought it up.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay.
Whew.
So which one do you want to hit first?
Well,
So
I think
you said-
travel
I
hit
think
you.
travel was the one.
Let's do it.
Just because we're winding down the summer, you know, it could be topical. And then once we hit the fall, then we got, you know, a whole bunch of other stuff that we can kind of hit. And I think this will be the last episode before the end of the summer. So like before Labor Day, this will be like the Friday before Labor Day. 'Cause
Yep.
we release episodes every Friday now, just so you know.
Okay.
We got to make sure we're on top of that.
Okay.
Okay, so travel, summer vacation. Have you gone any place besides the shore so far this summer?
Well, the Jersey Shore, you know, is the place for me. I do take day trips to Avon by the Sea, which I love, and then I stay at my friend's house in Long Beach Island, which is great. So the answer to that question would be no, because I don't have a job, so I can't really travel anywhere.
Yeah, people without jobs normally don't go on like lavish vacations.
Yeah. In my mind, I went a bunch of times.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be
But
it-
the
be it
Jersey
in-
Shore, you can figure it out down there.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
went to
That's pretty much all I went.
I went to the
summer.
Amalfi Coast via Instagram.
Cool.
I went to the Greek islands via Instagram.
Excellent. Sounds lovely.
I went to Positano. Yeah,
Yeah.
I stayed a lot of time there. I mean, it's on the Amalfi Coast, but I really kind of pinpointed in there.
Yep.
I went to Paris via Instagram. So
Have you been to
that
any
was
of these
my
places
traveling.
in your life?
I have actually. I have been to Paris. The Amalfi Coast is my dream. So someday I will get there. But I have been to Paris a number of times. Twice on just regular vacation. But then the other times were for work. I interviewed Johnny Depp in Paris.
Oh,
That was
really?
fun.
He's got a lot of stuff going on right now.
He does. He didn't at that time.
Yeah.
So it was great. I mean, that's what we call a boondoggle in the business, where you get these great trips, all expenses paid, and
Yeah. To go talk to somebody that's really famous.
Yeah,
That's not bad.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
had a beautiful day with Johnny Depp in Paris, which
Yeah.
was really nice.
Yeah, I'm just schlepping my cardboard box across Morristown to get to here. No offense, but it's not Paris.
No.
I've
The-
never-
the
so-
other side of Morristown is not Paris.
No, definitely not. Nor is the other side of my side. Neither. It's really not. But fun fact about me.
Yes.
I've never been out of the country except for Puerto Rico when I was a kid, which I don't even think that really counts because it's still technically
It's still
part
technically
of
part of the
United States.
the United
so
States.
that's a fun fact about me.
I'm sad to hear that.
Yeah. Well, I have a passport coming because I hadn't had one
Before.
before.
Okay.
I'm 32. I'm very worldly,
You're-
as you can tell.
What were the reasons for not traveling outside of the country?
I mean, I was poor.
Okay.
Had no money.
Okay.
Like when I got my MBA, I was getting a stipend from the school as well, so I was getting paid and getting the MBA. So you could factor in the MBA tuition as part of the compensation.
Okay.
So like it had like a dollar value to it, of course.
Got it.
But my take home for the year was $10,000.
Oof.
And that was the highest paid coaching job that I had in the almost 5 years that I coached.
Right.
And I was working just like a normal person, like the same kind of hours, traveling all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, like my expenses were taken care of on the travel side, but
Right.
it was a lot. And so that's part of it. Then the next job I had, I made like $40K. And then
Well, that's a big jump from
it is
10 to 40.
100% big jump, but I only did that job for 8 months because I hated it. And then
What was that?
I was a manager at an indoor sports facility.
Oh, okay, right.
But that was like I was working 12-hour days during the week and then 10-hour days on the weekends. And my first 3 months, I had off Christmas Day, New Year's Day, and a random Sunday in February. I was just like, I literally cannot go in again.
Yeah.
Because I was so burnt out by that point in that job. So that didn't last too long. And then doing this job now, like, I mean, I started out making a very small base with commissions, and then kind of restructured right at the end of 2019 before 2020, which actually was really important because, you know, things happened in 2020.
Yeah.
But got a raise, had my quota lowered and all that kind of stuff. But really that was kind of the thing. Like, it was money. My families aren't, family isn't like a
Do you have
huge,
2 families?
No, as far as I know, I don't think so. But my family is not huge into traveling.
Okay.
Like, I mean, my sister's a little bit more, but not like a ton.
Okay,
and like
so
my
it wasn't-
parents aren't big on. They're just like, it's just so much stress to like actually leave the house even just to go out for like dinner. Just like, we're just gonna, you know, stay here. But we would do stuff like, you know, for like when growing up, we would go to like conventions that my dad had to go to, but then we would always kind of extend them. So we went to Disney, we did Cooperstown, we did Puerto Rico was one of those trips. But yeah, so that's kind of my rationale.
Yeah.
Yeah, have a passport that's in
Where
process.
is the first place you're going to go with this passport?
Trying to get to Canada in the middle of September.
Okay.
So it's gonna cut in a little bit close, but we're trying to make it happen.
Okay.
But the
What part of Canada?
So someone that I've been going out with has something going on up in Canada. So she was like, "Hey, if you want to come," and I was like, I don't
You're
have a
like,
passport.
that's fun, but I'm like a little boy and I don't have a passport.
Right. I know I appear as a man, but I'm actually not. But yeah, so that
Okay,
that
good.
one,
Well, that's exciting.
But like when I actually do go someplace, I would like to go to Italy because that's where my grandma's from. So kind of like go back to see where she was, you know, kind of grew up and during like World War II and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the like eventual, like that's where I would like to go, like my real first trip.
Sure. Your
Yeah.
whole world is about to open just
I know.
with a passport.
Yeah. Well, you also need like the real ID coming up, and that's like a whole process.
I know,
It's
that's-
easier to get a passport, I think, than getting that thing. You have to like make an appointment and go to the DMV, and nobody wants to deal with that.
No,
so,
which is
you know,
silly.
just
We-
take a passport.
we don't need that.
Take
Yeah.
a passport to fly to fucking Orlando.
Yes,
you know?
exactly. That's what you need. Yeah.
Basically. But yeah, so
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
What's been the coolest place that you've gone to?
I think Dubai.
Oh,
I would never have gone to Dubai if
I
it
would never
wasn't
go to
for a
Dubai.
work trip.
yeah. Was
so
it India?
Huh?
Is that India?
Dubai is part of the United Emirates, so those
Oh,
islands down there. So
Yes.
it's
Yeah,
Arabic.
that's,
Oh,
I'm just a kid. I took geography in high school. I know that.
that was it was a while ago. So this was a work trip, and it was the opening of the Atlantis Hotel. So the Atlantis is, in the Bahamas, and
Okay.
they decided we're
I like
gonna,
how you like you know. No, I don't. Actually, I have no idea what you're talking about.
the Atlantis is a big giant hotel.
Okay.
And so they were opening one in Dubai, and so for work they were like, "Great, we're gonna send you there."
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So the way that Dubai works is that they just kind of man-made these islands. They like dredged sand from the middle of the ocean and brought it in.
Okay.
So this one particular island looked like, or it does look like a palm tree. So
It's like in the shape of a
a
palm,
palm tree.
Oh,
And so
that's
on the,
cool.
yeah, they made palm fronds. And so there's houses and golf courses and restaurants and all that kind of stuff. But at this
Just
very,
wash away.
apparently not. I mean, there's a lot of engineering, I guess, that goes into it.
Wow, that's cool. I'll have to
Because
look
they
this
built this
crazy place up.
huge hotel on the end of it. So if the sand does sink,
Yeah, that hotel's
it's
going in.
gone. Yeah, it will literally be
Yeah.
like Atlantis under the sea.
Maybe that's why they named it that.
Because it's
in
going to go
anticipation
there.
of this happening.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the flight there, I think, was probably the best part on Emirates Airlines. It's just, you have your own pod. It's just huge. And
This is like everybody, like even commoners.
not everybody.
Yeah. I've never flown anything better than coach.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Again, this is work. I would never be able to afford
Well,
a flight like this.
but that's work perks
But
are cool.
it was a two-tier airplane. So
Whoa.
you could go downstairs where the commoners were in
Oh.
coach. I didn't see them.
Yeah. Maybe if you worked a little bit harder, you'd
Be upstairs with me at the bar.
in the suite.
There was a bar. There was a bar,
Yeah.
which is great. And then there's bathrooms with showers,
How long was this flight?
like 18 hours.
Oh my God. See, that's where you lose me. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's another big thing. Like, I hate, not that I am scared of flying, but I just don't like it. I like hate being on a plane with other people and you're just like locked in this tube. And like, this is a pet peeve,
Yes.
guy next to me, like shoes and socks off. Like as soon as we get off I was like, bro.
Did he start cutting his toenails?
No.
Because I've heard that before. When
No,
you
I
hear the
haven't.
clicking and you're like, who's cutting
Yeah.
your toenails or your fingernails?
Wait or do it before.
Disgusting.
And then there's been a couple times where I get like the middle seat, which obviously everyone hates. But
Yeah.
middle seat gets both armrests.
Yes.
The window gets the armrest and the lean. Aisle gets, a little extra room on the side. So I always try to get the aisle. That's my jam. I hate the window.
Right.
Because then I also hate having to be like, oh, excuse me.
Right, and your ass is in their face as
Yeah,
you like
or
go
they just do like the kind of the half lean,
Yeah.
and you're just like shoved up against the seats trying to get through. And the same guy with no shoes on, he's just like, he's all out there.
He
Not
took
that
everything.
Not that he was a big guy, but he just like took my armrest. So then I'm sitting there like this with his smelly fucking feet right there. Not for me.
No, the thing with traveling has gone to shit. Like nobody cares. They come in their pajamas. They look like slobs. Remember when when people first started flying? Obviously, it was a big deal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was very
Right. It's brand new.
Well, yeah, and it was just you would dress up to get onto a flight, and then even after that, it was still kind of a big deal. I don't know when, as a society, we decided to just be like, it's okay to show up in your gross leggings or your dirty pajamas, and with
Well, I feel
your
like
head
if you're,
pillow
you know,
and.
if you're flying for 18 hours, do you want to wear like a suit or do you want to wear?
No, but you can be presentable. You're with other people.
That's true. Like you're in public.
You're in
society.
right. You're in public. You're in society, and
So you're
I'm all for
dress
comfort.
up for plane.
Just look presentable.
Run a comb through your hair. kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. So okay.
yeah.
So that's one of your pet peeves.
It really is. It really is. People are just slobs. And to your point, there's like no shoes on, or they're like, and it's as if nobody has eaten for a week before they get on a flight, because people all of a sudden are starving to death.
Yeah.
And they need food. So they're coming on with bags of food because airlines don't really serve food anymore. They have snacks, But they're coming on with like wads of food, and it could be like a 4-hour flight, and they're just
Yeah.
eating the entire time. I know,
Yeah.
that's a pet peeve too. I just
Okay.
don't understand why you have to eat so much when you're flying. Are people nervous? Maybe they're nervous.
Maybe. Yeah, it's like stress eating.
Yeah.
Because you are,
In a tube
30,000 feet in the air, just fucking hurtling through the air, like through space, basically.
See, now I don't mind flying. I have zero fear of flying, but what I do have a fear of is cruise ships.
Never been on a cruise ship.
I was on once.
Don't think I would ever go.
I get horribly seasick, so that didn't help. But
Even on that big boat, you get.
I was, yeah,
Really?
it wasn't pretty. But even watching like a commercial of those big ass cruise ships, I have like an irrational fear, like something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that I don't understand the engineering of how they make it float.
Like any kind of boat or
so
that boat?
big. No, that boat.
Oh.
Those giant ships.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's all kinds of engineering going into
Yeah.
it, but
I don't know. It's like those.
But why do I want to
least
be stuck on that? To your point of being stuck in a tube up in the sky, I don't want to be stuck on this giant.
in the middle of the ocean? No. Yeah, I know. I'm with you on that one.
Right.
I just like, I don't know. I think the idea of just being stuck with like a lot of people in like a confined space for like an extended
Yeah.
amount of time. Because if you're like on a cruise ship, you're on there for like a week.
Yeah.
Or more.
Do you think that people suck, like in general?
I think
Yeah.
people are good, but like a whole group of people, it's just not my jam.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even like I don't like people, because I generally do.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't like to be around a lot of people all the time. It's like crowds are not my bag. Like, I'm not
Yes.
going to go clubbing with like a lot of people.
Really? Because I had you for a club. I mean, just the way you're dressed right now, I would imagine.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That
you
would
probably
hit
have
the
to go lose the undershirt and go like
Well,
one more.
do you have like a guinea tea under there? Is
Yeah.
that what-
Yeah. Well, it keeps.
Is
you
that
know,
okay to
everything
say? Is that
keep-
not PC anymore?
No. Well,
I can't say
the other word is
guinea tea.
wife beater. I feel like that's worse. That's way worse. We're gonna reset this real fast.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we're back.
And we're... yeah, can you say either one of those now? Wife beater
No.
or
well,
guinea tea?
You definitely can't say.
I mean, I just said them, and you did too, but
Yeah.
can
but
you
it's,
use it as a... What is it called?
Well, like,
An
what else would you
undershirt?
call it? Yeah, an undershirt. But that could be any kind of undershirt.
Yeah.
Like a t-shirt, which is too
Tank
much.
top.
Tank top. But is it though?
No.
I don't know. Anyway, so okay, so we've established that we both aren't crazy about being stuck on something like a vessel.
Yes, for a period of time. And to your point about being in crowds and stuff, I agree with you there. You know, what I do for business is I'm out there in a sense, right? But I really don't like being like party scenes and stuff. I get anxiety before I go, and it could be people I know, and I'm still like, oof, like going into it. I don't know what that is. I don't know why I feel that way. And then I'm a really good Irish exiter.
Oh,
Irish
yeah.
goodbye.
I'm big on that. I think.
Just because it took me a lot to get there, and it causes me more anxiety to have to go around and say goodbye to everybody. So that's why I just kind of scoot out.
Yeah, I'm big on that too. I remember like the first ever work party I went to when I got this new job. It was a Christmas party, and so I went. I work with the same company as my dad, and he couldn't go because I forget why. And so like I do this whole party. I barely know anybody. You know, like I know my boss. I said goodbye to him, and then I just kind of like dipped out. I was like, okay, party's over. Like I'm done here. And
It's over for me. Yeah.
And like I guess someone was talking to my dad the next day, and they're like, oh, like Mike left without saying goodbye, and he called me and he was like, so and so said you left without saying goodbye, and I was like, I don't even know who that is.
Right.
Like honestly, I was just learning everyone's name and seeing their face for literally the first time, and he was like, whatever, you know, it's not that big of a deal. But he's like, next time, say goodbye to everybody.
Right.
And now I do like the goodbye, you know, like a big goodbye, one large goodbye to as many people as that can hear me.
Yep.
In earshot.
Right.
And then I'm out. But the Irish goodbye, I think, is
so
an underutilized tool.
Yeah. Can we say that? Is that PC? Are the Irish going to be mad?
I don't know.
Do they exit
Well, we're saying
quietly?
it's a great thing.
Yeah, it is. Why is it the Irish that say goodbye stealthily?
I don't know. Maybe it's like a cultural thing. If that's something that they actually
I'm wondering
do.
if they actually do it, though, is what I'm saying.
Well, maybe it's like they don't want to say goodbye. It's because it's like bad
too
luck.
fun? Oh, because it's bad luck.
Too fun to say
like,
goodbye?
No, I mean, like they're having too much fun, and if they say goodbye, then they know it's over.
Oh.
You're saying maybe it's bad luck. I don't know.
I don't know.
Who knows?
We'll have to look that
Somebody
up.
has to tell us.
Yeah, if we had a producer, we'd have them look it up. Look that up.
You
over there. All right, so Irish goodbyes, big on that. Yeah, so that's our travel. I think that's our travel episode. Yeah. Did we hit everything on the travel episode?
I think we did it. I mean, fears. You know, what are your fears? What are your favorites? You're going places. Now, I like that.
Yeah. It's just really been like United States travel.
Yeah, but you're going international. Mike, his ham, is now going international.
Yeah, but I also feel like it's almost because I'm so diehard Jersey. Is it off-brand to leave New Jersey?
I will tell you
Do
this.
I have to stay here for the rest of my life?
You do not. I will tell you this.
Because then I feel
I
trapped.
guarantee wherever you go, you will meet people from New Jersey. It is
Oh,
so
yeah. I think
weird
you said that
and
before.
random, but like, they're just out there.
Yeah.
New Jersey is not a large state.
No, but there's a lot of people.
But
here.
there's a lot of people, and they just show up everywhere.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah, because they'll hear your
permeated
accent, and they're like, "Do-do-do-do-do-do," and they're
You
like,
think I
"Oh my
have a
gosh."
Jersey accent?
I don't. I'm just saying. I think outside of here, people think that we
you think
sound.
outside of New Jersey?
Yes, we sound
Even
different.
if I don't really have one, they're like, you're from New Jersey.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't really say like coffee.
Walk the dog. No,
I mean, I
think
say
that's
coffee,
coffee.
but like some people say coffee.
Who
Like, that's
says
ridiculous.
that? That's not.
People from Pennsylvania say coffee.
Oh, well,
Like, they're
again,
idiots.
I didn't say that.
Definitely
You did.
can't say that here. Just made fun of an entire state. My sister lives there, so I could say it.
Okay, on
Yeah.
behalf of yes.
On behalf of my
her.
sister and her husband. What's up? But yeah, so no, I think that was great. We got a whole other list of stuff to get to in coming episodes. So yeah, I think we wrap this one up and we roll on to the next one.
Let's do it.
Cool.
Rolling along.
Awesome. All right. So do you want me to take us out?
Yes, because you do it so well. Because you're a pro.
I've
just
only done it once
begin-
for this show. But okay, cool. So this has been Mike and the Maven. This is episode 2.
Yes.
If you want to learn more about the show,
About us, about Mike and his travels.
yeah, we are
To
on
be.
Instagram at Mike and the Maven. We have no posts as of right now. I have to get on that. I promise. That's my contribution to this. You
But
have the list. I'm doing the editing and the marketing.
Yeah.
So it's a good balance. Good balance. But then you could also go to greetingsfromthegardenstate.com to the Radio Garden State network, because we changed that also. And right now there's 2 shows in the network. It's this one and Greetings from the Garden State. And as we add more shows, you'll be able to see other shows that are other New Jersey podcasters that are doing cool stuff in different topics. We have a couple more that are coming on pretty soon that other people are hosting, so that should be
Great.
fun. Yeah, doing a lot of cool stuff. And then I also set us up with an email address today. So if you want to email the show, it's mikeandthemaven@gmail.com. So
Yes.
if you want to send us topics to talk about, if you have questions, if you want to, just say what's up, that you like the show, that's cool. Wherever you listen, Spotify, Apple, Google, make sure you like, subscribe, leave us a review if you can. That would be great. That always helps. So Tara, thank you
You can
so much.
slide into
Oh,
our DMs there, on Instagram, but
yeah.
nicely.
Keep it nice.
Keep
Or
it
else-
keep it classy,
or else.
podcasters.
Yeah. Right. Awesome. Okay. So great second episode. So Mike and the Maven, I almost said the first name. Tara, thank you so much for
Thank you. This
doing
is
this
great.
with us today.
Yep.
Cool. And then
Rolling
everybody
along.
else, we will catch you next week.